Imagine you're dying. Mom changes her will to leave $2.3 million to your brother's fiancée, Isabelle, after she twisted your sacrifices into greed. Then Mom hides a video confession to shatter their wedding altar. If this betrayal boils your blood, hit like if you think Elena deserved her revenge. But how far would she go?
Thank you, Eliza. After everything, sharing this feels like honoring Mom's final wish. I'm ready to reveal how that hidden phone changed everything. The DJ's microphone crackles as I reach for it, my mother's hidden phone trembling in my other hand. 3 months of secrets are about to spill across this pristine wedding reception like wine on white silk. But to understand why I'm about to destroy my brother's wedding day, you need to know how we got here. You need to know about the snake who slithered into our garden while our mother was dying. 3 months ago, I was living in what used to be my childhood bedroom, sleeping in 2-hour intervals between Mom's morphine doses. Pancreatic cancer doesn't wait for convenient schedules. It demands everything: your sleep, your sanity, your soul. Elena, honey, is that you? Mom's voice drifted from her hospital bed in the living room at 3 a.m. I'd moved it there so she could see the garden she'd tended for 30 years. I'm here, Mom. I patted across the cold hardwood, checking the medication chart I'd taped to the wall. 15 years as a hospice nurse, and nothing prepared me for watching my own mother fade away grain by grain. Her hand found mine in the darkness, paper-thin skin over bird bones. Tell me about Marcus's girl again, Isabelle. I adjusted her pillows, the way I'd done for hundreds of patients, but never for the woman who taught me to braid my hair. She seems lovely, Mom, very devoted to Marcus. Good, he needs someone to take care of him when I'm gone. Her breathing hitched, and I reached for the oxygen mask. You've sacrificed so much already, sweetheart, you deserve your own life. Every night I held her hand through the morphine dreams, never knowing someone was already planning to steal her final gift. The irony of those words, about me deserving my own life, would later cut deeper than any scalpel. I'd given up my apartment, my job, my relationship with David. Everything to be here for her final months. Mom would drift in and out, sometimes calling me by my grandmother's name, sometimes lucid enough to worry about Marcus deployed overseas, unable to come home until his rotation ended. Promise me you'll watch over him, she whispered one particularly bad night. Promise me you'll make sure he's happy. I promise, Mom. How could I have known I was promising to protect him from the very woman she was about to trust with everything? 2 months ago, Isabelle started showing up every day with expensive comfort food from that boutique market downtown, the kind of place that charges $20 for organic soup. I brought your mother's favorite, she'd announce, sweeping into the house like she already owned it. Thai coconut curry from Bella Vista. I actually felt grateful when Isabelle started visiting. The irony tastes like poison now. She'd perch beside Mom's bed in her designer jeans and cashmere sweaters, holding Mom's hand while I managed medications in the kitchen. Their conversations drifted through the thin walls, Isabelle painting pictures of the life she'd build with Marcus, the grandchildren she'd give Mom, the way she'd honor the family traditions. Mrs. Varga, I want you to know I'll take such good care of Marcus, Isabelle would coo. I understand how important family legacy is. My own grandmother left me her estate, and I've treasured that responsibility. Mom's eyes would light up during these visits. For the first time in weeks, she'd seem genuinely hopeful about the future. When Marcus called from his base in Germany, Isabelle would position herself perfectly in the video frame, stroking Mom's hair while they talked. The devoted fiancé, sacrificing her time to care for his dying mother. She's an angel, Mom told me after one of their calls. Look how she's putting her own life on hold for us. I was too exhausted to see the performance for what it was. Between managing Mom's pain medication, coordinating with hospice nurses, and trying to make her comfortable, I welcomed any help. When Isabelle offered to sit with Mom while I grabbed groceries or took a shower, I practically wept with gratitude. You're so lucky to have her, I told Marcus during one of our private calls. She's here more than some family members would be. The snake was already in position, coiled and ready to strike. I just handed her the keys to the garden. 1 week after we buried Mom in the dress she'd worn to Marcus's high school graduation, I sat in Thomas Patterson's law office expecting routine paperwork. The man had handled our family's legal matters for 20 years. This should have been simple. Elena, I need to prepare you for something unexpected. Thomas adjusted his glasses, the same nervous tic I'd seen when he'd handled Dad's estate 15 years earlier. Your mother made some last-minute changes to her will. The leather chair suddenly felt too small. What kind of changes? He slid a document across his mahogany desk. The letterhead swam before my eyes as I tried to focus on the words that would shatter everything I thought I knew about my mother. The will was changed 3 days before she died. She left everything to Isabelle to care for Marcus and carry on the family legacy. The house, the savings account, the investment portfolio Dad had built over 30 years of teaching high school chemistry, the life insurance policy, everything totaling $2.3 million, gone. That's impossible. My voice sounded like it was coming from underwater. Mom always said the house would be mine. We talked about it constantly. Thomas's expression was carefully neutral, the way lawyers look when they're delivering devastating news they can't legally comment on. She left you her personal jewelry and photo albums, and a note expressing her love and gratitude for your care. Personal mementos, $20 trinkets and faded photographs, while Isabelle inherited a fortune. Did you witness this change? My hands were shaking now. No, she used a mobile notary service. Everything was properly executed and legal. He paused. Elena, I advised against such a significant change so close to, but she was adamant, said she'd discovered some things that changed her perspective. Some things? What could my dying mother have possibly discovered about me that would make her believe I deserved nothing? I called Marcus from my car in the parking lot, my phone slippery with tears and sweat. Marcus, did you know Mom left everything to Isabelle? Silence stretched across the Atlantic connection. Then, what? No, that's impossible. Mom always said the house would be yours. She was worried about your future after giving up everything to care for her. Thomas just read me the will. Everything goes to Isabelle except some jewelry and photos. Elena, this makes no sense. Isabelle and I haven't even set a wedding date. We've been together less than a year. That's when the pieces started clicking together like a combination lock opening. Marcus, what exactly did Isabelle tell Mom about me? Another pause. What do you mean? During their conversations, what did she say? Elena, she mentioned she was concerned about your financial motivations. Said she'd noticed you asking Mom about the will and seemed focused on inheritance rather than just caring for her. The parking lot tilted. Cars blurred past like watercolors in rain. She said I was after Mom's money. She presented it as concern for Mom being taken advantage of in a vulnerable state. She said she'd seen it happen to elderly clients before. His voice was getting smaller. Elena, please tell me this isn't true. Marcus, I gave up my entire life to care for her. I never once asked about money. I assumed the house would eventually be mine because that's what Mom always said, but I never. God, Marcus, I loved her. I know you did. Now he sounded sick. Isabelle showed Mom some article about financial elder abuse by family members. Said she was worried about your situation after losing your job and apartment. The manipulation was elegant in its simplicity. Isabelle had taken my sacrifices and twisted them into evidence of greed. My devotion became suspicious. My presence became predatory. She played us both, I whispered. Elena, I'm so sorry. I'm coming home early. We'll contest this will. We'll figure it out. But I was already thinking about the house I'd grown up in, now belonging to a woman who'd known my mother for 8 months. About the future Mom had stolen from me to give to someone who'd lied to us both. 1 week after the will reading, I was packing Mom's belongings when I found her old iPhone hidden in the secret compartment of her jewelry box. The same hiding place where she'd kept our Christmas presents when Marcus and I were kids. Taped to the phone was a note in Mom's shaky handwriting. For my Elena, the truth about the snake. Password, your birthday, the truth about the snake. Use this on his wedding day. My hands shook as I entered my birthday. The phone unlocked to reveal a single video file dated 3 days before Mom died, the same day she'd changed her will. I pressed play. Mom's face filled the screen, gaunt but determined, propped up in her hospital bed. Behind her, I could see the garden through the window, the roses she'd never see bloom again. Elena, if you're watching this, then the snake has already struck and you've learned about the will. Her voice was weak but clear. I need you to know that everything I did was to protect this evidence. I had to make her believe she'd won. The video continued, and my mother's frail but firm voice began to reveal a deception so calculated, so cruel, that I had to pause it twice just to breathe. But the real shock came when the camera angle shifted, and I realized Mom had been secretly recording. Isabelle's voice filled the room, clear as a confession, admitting to everything. Now, standing at this wedding reception with the phone in my hand, I understand why Mom made me promise to watch over Marcus. She knew exactly what kind of woman he was about to marry. And she'd given me the weapon to stop it. The wedding venue's parking lot was already half full when I arrived at 9:45 a.m., my mother's phone burning like a coal in my purse. The Riverside Manor looked like something from a fairy tale, all ivy-covered stone and manicured gardens. The perfect backdrop for Isabelle's perfect lie. I'd barely slept, replaying Mom's video over and over. The way Isabelle's voice had turned cold and calculating when she thought no one was listening. The casual cruelty as she described her plan to secure the family assets by making Mom believe I was a gold digger. But watching the video and proving its authenticity were two different things. I needed to try reasoning with Marcus first. Give him a chance to see the truth before I destroyed everything. The morning air smelled like jasmine and fresh mulch. Somewhere in those gardens, florists were probably arranging the final touches while caterers prepped for 300 guests. All of it built on a foundation of lies. I clutched the medical records I'd brought, documentation of Mom's medication schedule, her cognitive assessments, proof that she'd been lucid and unmedicated when Isabelle had manipulated her. Surely, when confronted with evidence, even my brother would see reason. God, I was naive. By 1:00 p.m., I was desperate enough to ambush Marcus in the groom's suite. I found him adjusting his bow tie in front of a full-length mirror, looking every inch the happy groom. His groomsmen were outside on the terrace, giving us privacy I hadn't asked for but desperately needed. Marcus, please, just watch this video. That's all I'm asking. I held out Mom's phone, the video already queued up. Mom left this for me. She recorded Isabelle confessing to everything. His reflection in the mirror looked tired. Elena, you're scaring me. This obsession with Isabelle isn't healthy. It's not an obsession, it's evidence. I pressed play. Mom's voice filled the room, weak but determined. Elena, if you're watching this, then the snake has already struck. Marcus watched, his expression shifting from annoyance to confusion to something that looked almost like recognition. When Isabelle's recorded voice began explaining her manipulation tactics, his face went white. But then his expression hardened into something I'd never seen before, pure rage. You sick bitch, his voice was deadly quiet. For a moment, I thought I'd won. Then he turned that rage on me. How could you do this? How could you doctor a video of our dying mother to make your lies seem real? The words hit like physical blows. Marcus, I didn't. Mom loved Isabelle more than she ever loved you, and you can't stand it. You've doctored this video because you're jealous of a dead woman's final wish. Listen to the audio quality, look at the metadata. This is real. Technology can fake anything now. You're a smart woman, Elena. Smart enough to manipulate video files and desperate enough to destroy my wedding day with lies. The door opened and Isabelle glided in, followed by the wedding coordinator. She was fully made up now, radiant in her bridal robe, the picture of concerned innocence. Oh no, she breathed, taking in Marcus's furious expression and my tear-stained face. Elena, honey, what's wrong? She's having some kind of breakdown, Marcus said flatly. She created a fake video of Mom to try to prove you manipulated the will. Isabelle's hand flew to her mouth in perfectly performed shock. Oh, Elena, sweetheart, grief can make us do terrible things, but this, she gestured at the phone, this is beyond anything I imagined. The wedding coordinator, a efficient woman in her 50s, stepped forward. Should I call someone? A family member or therapist? No, Isabelle said gently. She's struggling with grief and guilt. Elena, I think you should go home and rest. We can talk about getting you help after Marcus and I return from our honeymoon. I looked at my brother, searching for any trace of the boy who used to build blanket forts with me and sneak cookies from Mom's hidden stash. But his eyes were cold, distant, already seeing me as the enemy. Get out, Elena, don't make me call security. At 3:00 p.m., I sat in the business center of a nearby hotel, my laptop open to a video call with Thomas Patterson. Behind me, I could hear the sounds of wedding guests checking in, their laughter and excitement a sharp contrast to my desperation. Thomas, please, just watch the video. Mom recorded everything. His face on the screen was grave as he listened to the audio, his legal mind processing every word. When it finished, he sat back in his chair and rubbed his temples. Elena, this is powerful, but she'll claim you doctored it out of grief. I need irrefutable proof that can't be spun, and you have less than 9 hours. 9 hours? The asset transfer is scheduled for 11:59 p.m. tonight. Some kind of tax advantage Isabelle arranged. Once those funds move into her accounts, recovering them becomes exponentially more difficult. The hotel business center suddenly felt too small, too warm. What about the nursing board complaint? Can we use that to show a pattern of manipulation? That actually makes things worse. It gives her ammunition to claim you're an unstable caregiver with a history of patient abuse. Elena, I'm sorry, but without corroborating witnesses or physical evidence that can't be dismissed as fabricated, this video alone won't hold up in court. Through the window, I could see the first wedding guests arriving at Riverside Manor. Women in cocktail dresses and men in suits, all here to celebrate a union built on lies and theft. So she wins. Unless you can find something else, something she can't explain away or claim you fabricated. His expression was sympathetic but realistic. Elena, I've been practicing law for 30 years. I've seen financial predators before. They're usually too smart to leave evidence lying around. The call ended, leaving me alone with the sound of my own breathing and the distant laughter of people celebrating my family's destruction. By 4:30 p.m., I was sitting in my car in the Manor's parking lot, watching guests stream in like ants to a picnic. Designer dresses, expensive cars, everyone here to witness Isabelle's ultimate victory. The rational part of my mind knew I should leave. Go home, grieve my mother and my brother's betrayal in private, maybe start planning a legal challenge that would take years and probably fail. But the daughter in me, the woman who'd held Mom's hand through her final breath, couldn't walk away. Not when I had the weapon Mom had given me. If the courts wouldn't listen to a grieving daughter, maybe 300 wedding guests would. Maybe public humiliation in front of everyone Isabelle wanted to impress would accomplish what private confrontation couldn't. It was insane, it was social suicide, it was probably illegal. But it was also the only chance I had left. Through my windshield, I watched the wedding party emerge for photos. Isabelle looked like a princess in her flowing white gown, Marcus handsome and proud beside her. The photographer captured their joy, their love, their perfect beginning. All of it built on my mother's stolen fortune and my destroyed reputation. I checked the time on Mom's phone, 4:47 p.m. In less than 2 hours, the ceremony would begin. In 7 hours, the money would disappear forever. Mom, I hope your final performance is enough. At 6:30 p.m., I took my seat in the front row as Maria Varga's daughter, watching my brother marry the woman who'd stolen our mother's final gift. The evening air was perfect, warm but not humid, with a gentle breeze that made the hanging lights dance like fireflies. 300 guests filled the white chairs arranged in perfect rows. Behind me, I could hear the murmur of conversation, the clink of champagne glasses, the rustle of expensive fabric. Everyone who mattered in Isabelle's professional and social circles was here to witness her triumph. The string quartet began the processional, and Marcus took his place at the altar. He looked nervous but happy, straightening his bow tie the same way he had before his high school graduation. For a moment, my heart broke for the boy he'd been and the man he was about to become. Then Isabelle appeared at the back of the aisle, and the crowd rose as one. She was breathtaking in her custom gown, every inch the radiant bride. The photographer captured her approach from multiple angles while guests snapped photos with their phones. The ceremony proceeded with religious precision. Traditional vows, biblical readings, all the trappings of a sacred union. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, my hand tightened on Mom's phone, but I stayed silent. This wasn't the moment. Not yet. Then came Isabelle's personal vows, and I had to grip the chair arms to keep from standing up. Marcus, I promise to honor not just you, but the family that shaped you. Your mother entrusted me with more than just your heart. She entrusted me with your future, your security, your happiness. And I vow to protect the legacy Maria entrusted to me, to be worthy of the faith she showed in our love. Every word a blade, every promise a lie. But the guests sighed appreciatively, moved by her devotion to a dead woman's memory. I maintained my nurse's composure, the same professional calm I'd used with difficult families and impossible diagnoses. But inside, I was counting down the minutes until I could show everyone exactly what kind of legacy Isabelle planned to protect. Every word a blade, every promise a lie. But the dead have long memories, and I am my mother's daughter. The officiant pronounced them husband and wife. Marcus kissed his bride as 300 people applauded. The photographer captured their joy, the string quartet played their recessional, and Mr. and Mrs. Marcus Varga walked back down the aisle toward their new life together. Built on my mother's stolen fortune and my destroyed reputation. But Mom had taught me patience during those long nights of caregiving. Sometimes, you have to wait for the right moment to administer the medicine that will save a life. Or destroy one. As the cocktail hour began and guests moved toward the reception tent, I checked the time on Mom's hidden phone. 7:15 p.m. The asset transfer would happen in less than 5 hours. But first, there would be speeches, toasts to the happy couple. And when Isabelle took the microphone to thank everyone for celebrating their love, I would give her, and everyone else, a gift they'd never forget. My mother's final word. During the photo session, as guests mill around offering congratulations, Isabelle maneuvers herself next to me. The photographer positions us for a family moment. The grieving daughter and the devoted new daughter-in-law, united in love for the departed mother. Smile, Elena, Isabelle whispers, her arm around my waist like we're sisters. This moment needs to be perfect. The camera clicks, capturing what looks like reconciliation, but her grip tightens, fingernails digging through my dress. She delivers her final blow. Your dying mother was so easy to fool, now her fortune is mine. My hand moves instinctively to Mom's phone hidden in my purse, fingers closing around the device that holds the truth. But Isabelle isn't finished. She died believing her own daughter was a monster. How does that feel, Elena? The photographer calls for another pose, and Isabelle's smile brightens to magazine perfect as she adds, now her fortune is mine, and there's nothing you can do about it. I force my lips into what must pass for a smile, my voice steady despite the earthquake in my chest. Smile for the camera, Isabelle. This moment needs to be perfect. But inside, something fundamental shifts. The grief-stricken daughter who's been begging for justice transforms into something harder, colder. Something that understands the only language Isabelle speaks is public humiliation. By 7:45 p.m., I'm sitting alone in my car in the venue parking lot, surrounded by the wreckage of everything I thought I knew about my life. Through the windshield, I can see the reception tent glowing like a fairy tale, filled with 300 people celebrating a marriage built on my mother's stolen fortune. My nursing license hangs by a thread, the investigation email still burning on my phone screen. The inheritance is gone, transferred to a woman who tortured my dying mother with lies about me. My brother hates me, convinced I'm a manipulative liar who would fake videos of our dead mother. For the first time since Mom's death, I break down completely. The sobs come from somewhere deeper than grief, from the place where a daughter's love meets a mother's betrayal. Except it wasn't betrayal. It was manipulation so cruel, so calculated, that Mom died believing her devoted daughter was her enemy. My hands shake as I grip the steering wheel, my professional composure finally cracking under the weight of losing everything that mattered. 15 years of building a career, gone. A lifetime of family bonds severed. The house where I learned to ride a bike and helped Mom plant her rose garden, now belonging to a stranger. "I'm sorry, Mama," I whisper to the empty car, my voice breaking on words I should have said before she died believing Isabelle's lies. "I tried to fight for you, but I'm not strong enough. She took everything, and I couldn't stop her." The parking lot blurs through my tears. Couples walk past in their cocktail attire, laughing and chatting about the beautiful ceremony, the romantic venue, the lovely bride. None of them knowing they're celebrating the triumph of a sociopath who destroyed a dying woman's peace for money. I could leave, drive home to my empty apartment, start over somewhere else, let Isabelle win completely. It would be easier than facing 300 witnesses to my family's destruction. But then I remember Mom's voice on that hidden video. "Elena, if you're watching this, then the snake has already struck." She'd known this moment would come. She'd prepared for it, even while Isabelle was poisoning her mind against me. My mother had been strong enough to endure torture and still leave me a weapon. The least I can do is be strong enough to use it. At 7:30 p.m., I watch the reception set up through my car window, and something clicks into place. The careful choreography of servers moving between tables, the precise timing of courses, the way the DJ coordinates with the wedding planner. It's not unlike the delicate procedures I've managed for 15 years. Life or death situations require steady hands and perfect timing. I've guided families through their darkest hours, made split-second decisions when patients crashed, maintained professional composure while watching people I cared about slip away. This is just another kind of emergency medicine. I study the reception flow like I would study a patient chart. Cocktail hour until 8:00, dinner service until 9:30, then dancing and speeches. Isabelle will give her thank you speech around 10:00, when she's most relaxed, most confident, surrounded by everyone she wants to impress. That's when she'll be most vulnerable. I think about all those nights in the ICU when families screamed at me, blamed me for things beyond my control, questioned my competence and my motives. I learned to stay calm, to speak clearly, to present facts without emotion. Those skills will serve me well tonight. My phone buzzes with another email from the nursing board, requesting additional documentation for their investigation. But instead of panic, I feel a strange calm settling over me. Let them investigate. After tonight, the truth about Isabelle's manipulation tactics will be public record. I check Mom's phone one more time, ensuring the video is ready to play. The audio is clear, the timestamp visible, the content devastating. 15 years of steady hands in life-or-death situations have prepared me for this moment. 15 years of steady hands in life-or-death situations, I whisper to myself, watching guests filter into the reception tent. Tonight, I save justice. The grief-stricken daughter is gone. In her place sits a woman who understands that sometimes the only way to heal a patient is to cut deep enough to remove the poison. And Isabelle Croft is about to discover that the quiet nurse she dismissed as weak has been trained to perform surgery under pressure. Tonight, I operate on the truth. I stand in the shadows of crystal chandeliers and lies, watching my brother dance with the woman who stole our mother's dying breath. The Riverside Manor ballroom has been transformed into something from a magazine, ivory silk draping, cascading orchids, candlelight reflecting off enough crystal to fund a small hospital wing. All of it paid for with Mom's stolen fortune. The first dance ends to thunderous applause, and I watch Isabelle curtsy gracefully in her $1,000 gown. She catches my eye across the dance floor and raises her champagne flute in a mock toast, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. 300 guests swirl around me in designer cocktail attire, their laughter echoing off the vaulted ceiling. I recognize some faces from Mom's funeral, neighbors, family friends, people who genuinely loved her. They have no idea they're celebrating the triumph of her torturer. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm wearing the black dress I bought for Mom's funeral. Isabelle probably thinks it's a sign of my defeat, my inability to move on from grief. She has no idea it's my armor for war. I check Mom's phone hidden in my purse. 8:47 p.m. The dinner service is winding down, champagne glasses being refilled for the toasts. Soon, Isabelle will take the microphone to thank everyone for celebrating their love. And then I'll give her a gift she'll never forget. At 9:15 p.m., I approach the DJ booth during the dessert course, my heart hammering against my ribs but my hands steady. 15 years of nursing has taught me to function under pressure, to make critical decisions when lives hang in the balance. Tonight, the life I'm saving is my own. The DJ, a young man with carefully styled hair and an expensive sound system, looks up from his laptop as I approach. Behind him, the dance floor glitters with couples swaying to soft jazz while servers clear dinner plates. "Excuse me," I say, pulling a crisp $100 bill from my purse along with Mom's phone. "I have a special request from the bride's family." His eyes widen at the money. "What can I do for you?" The bride's late mother-in-law recorded a special video message before she passed. It's meant to be a surprise tribute during the speeches. I hand him the phone, the video already queued up. This needs to play on all the screens the moment Isabelle finishes her thank you speech. No matter what anyone says, no matter who tries to stop you. He glances at the phone, then at the money. "Are you sure the bride wants this? It seems like something that should be cleared with." This is what Maria Varga wanted. Play at the moment her speech ends, no matter what anyone says. I press the 100 into his hand, watching his resistance crumble. The dead deserve to have their final words heard. I position myself strategically near the AV controls, close enough to ensure the video plays, but far enough to avoid immediate suspicion. The wedding coordinator is busy managing the cake cutting, servers are refilling champagne, and Isabelle is holding court at the head table, radiant in her victory. None of them see the trap closing around her throat. At 9:20 p.m., the wedding coordinator taps her champagne flute with a silver spoon, calling for attention. The room gradually quiets as 300 guests turn toward the head table where Isabelle rises gracefully, microphone in hand. She looks ethereal in the candlelight, every inch the grieving daughter-in-law honoring her husband's departed mother. The performance is flawless, exactly the right amount of emotion, perfectly timed pauses, a voice that trembles with just enough vulnerability to seem genuine. "Thank you all for being here to celebrate this perfect day," she begins, her voice carrying easily through the sound system. "Marcus and I are overwhelmed by your love and support." Polite applause ripples through the crowd. I watch from my position near the AV booth, my mother's phone burning like a coal in my purse. But tonight, I want to especially honor someone who can't be with us, Maria Varga, Marcus's beloved mother. Isabelle's voice catches beautifully, and I see several guests reach for tissues. Maria entrusted me with more than just her son's heart. She entrusted me with everything she held dear. The words are poison wrapped in silk, each one a calculated lie delivered with Academy Award precision. In her final days, Maria saw in me the daughter who would truly honor her legacy, and I promised to guard that trust forever. She knew that love isn't just about blood, it's about who will protect what matters most. Every word a blade aimed at my heart, every pause perfectly timed for maximum impact. But I force myself to stay calm, to wait for the perfect moment. In the ICU, rushing leads to mistakes. Tonight, patience will deliver justice. The speech builds to its crescendo. So please, raise your glasses to Maria Varga, a woman who knew true love from performance, and who trusted me with her most precious gifts. 300 glasses rise in toast to my mother's memory, celebrating the woman who destroyed her final days. The applause is thunderous, genuine, heartfelt. Isabelle's smile is triumphant as she hands back the microphone. She's done it, convinced everyone that she's the devoted daughter-in-law honoring a sacred trust. That's when I catch the DJ's eye and nod. The venue's screens flicker to life as Mom's gaunt face appears, and the room falls into confused silence. She's propped up in her hospital bed, the garden visible through the window behind her, looking directly into the camera with eyes that are weak but determined. "If you're watching this at Isabelle's wedding," Mom's voice fills the ballroom, clear and strong despite her condition. Then she succeeded in making everyone believe I chose her over my daughter Elena. A collective gasp rises from the crowd. Heads turn toward Isabelle, who has gone white as her wedding dress. "I need you all to know the truth about the woman my son just married." The The camera angle shifts slightly, and I realize Mom had positioned the phone to secretly record. Isabelle's voice fills the room, crystal clear and damning. Your mother was so easy to manipulate, Marcus. Old people on morphine will believe anything if you present it right. The ballroom erupts in shocked murmurs. Guests pull out their phones, recording everything. There's no escape, no way to claim technical difficulties or dismiss this as grief-induced delusion. Mom's face reappears on screen, and her final words hit like a physical blow. A thief's love is a performance, but a mother's love is eternal. Elena, my darling daughter, this is my final gift to you, the truth that will set you free. The video ends, leaving 300 people staring at screens, now showing only the wedding's monogram. The silence stretches like a held breath before exploding into chaos. Bride thinks she inherited my mother's fortune, but Mom left me one video to destroy her at the altar. I whisper to myself, watching Isabelle's perfect world crumble in real time. Isabelle's composure shatters like crystal hitting marble. She lunges toward the AV booth, her designer gown trailing behind her as she screams, turn it off now. But it's too late. 300 phones are recording her meltdown, capturing every desperate denial, every hysterical accusation. The woman who moments ago seemed like a grieving daughter-in-law now looks exactly like what she is, a cornered predator. She's lying, Isabelle shrieks, grabbing at the DJ's equipment. Your mother loved me, she chose me, Elena doctored that video. But the crowd has heard her own voice confessing to manipulation. They've seen the timestamp, the authentic setting, the devastating clarity of Mom's final testimony. There's no spinning this, no way to claim technical fraud. Marcus steps away from his bride as if she's radioactive, his face cycling through confusion, horror, and dawning recognition. Around them, wedding guests whisper and point, their phones capturing every moment of the spectacular downfall. We all heard your voice confessing, you monster, someone calls out from the crowd. Security appears, summoned by the wedding coordinator who's desperately trying to contain the chaos. But there's no containing this. Isabelle fights them as they escort her from the ballroom, screaming about doctored evidence and grief-induced delusions that no one believes anymore. The perfect wedding has become a public execution, broadcast live on social media for the world to see. My phone buzzes with a text from Thomas Patterson, video received, injunction filed, transfer frozen, police en route. I forward him the medical records I've been carrying, documentation of Mom's mental state, her medication schedule, proof that she was completely lucid when Isabelle manipulated her. The evidence that will make the criminal case airtight. Another text, the video proves the crime, the medical records prove the victim's state. It's over for her, Elena, you did it. Through the ballroom windows, I see police cars arriving, their red and blue lights painting the perfect wedding venue in harsh, unforgiving colors. Isabelle is loaded into a squad car while guests stream out, their phones still recording, their shocked conversations already spreading across social media. The nursing board complaint will evaporate once they see the evidence of Isabelle's manipulation tactics. My career is safe, my reputation restored, my mother's memory vindicated. Marcus approaches slowly, his tuxedo rumpled, his face aged a decade in the past hour. Elena, I know, I say quietly, she fooled us both. But we both know it's more complicated than that. He chose to believe her lies over his sister's truth, chose a stranger's word over a lifetime of family bonds. Still, watching him standing there in his ruined wedding attire, I remember the boy who used to build blanket forts with me. Some bridges can be rebuilt, given time. At 10:00 p.m., I stand alone in the empty ballroom, holding Mom's phone containing her final gift. The crystal chandeliers still sparkle overhead, but the fairy tale magic is gone, replaced by overturned chairs and abandoned champagne glasses. I look at my reflection in the darkened windows and see a transformed woman, not the grief-stricken daughter who's been begging for justice, but someone who fought for her mother's memory and won. 15 years of nursing taught me that sometimes the only way to heal is to cut deep enough to remove the poison. Tonight, I performed the surgery that saved not just my future, but my mother's legacy. I am my mother's daughter, Not because of what she left me, but because of what she taught me. Love doesn't need an audience, but justice sometimes does. The inheritance will be restored, the house will be mine again, and Isabelle will face criminal charges for elder abuse and fraud. But the real victory is simpler. Mom died believing I was her enemy, but she still loved me enough to leave me the weapon to destroy her tormentor. That's a mother's love, not the performance Isabelle gave tonight, but the quiet strength that endures beyond death. 6 months later, I stand at Mom's graveside, the new headstone reading, "Beloved Mother, her love was no performance." The inscription was my idea, a final rebuke to the woman now serving 3 years for elder abuse and fraud. Your final performance brought down the house, Mama, but your real legacy is just beginning. The Elena Varga Foundation for Elder Care Protection is already helping families avoid the manipulation that nearly destroyed ours. The inheritance Mom left me, now legally restored, funds advocacy and education programs that would make her proud. Isabelle's conviction made national news, a cautionary tale about financial predators who target vulnerable seniors. The video of her wedding meltdown has been viewed millions of times, a permanent record of justice served. But standing here in the quiet cemetery, surrounded by the roses I planted in Mom's memory, I understand that her greatest gift wasn't the money or even the video that saved me. It was teaching me that real love doesn't perform for applause. It endures in silence, protects from beyond the grave, and trusts that truth will eventually triumph over even the most beautiful lies. The snake is gone from our garden, and I am, finally and forever, my mother's daughter.
Lena, thank you for sharing this heart-wrenching tale of betrayal and a mother's enduring love that triumphed from beyond the grave. This story teaches us that true family bonds can outsmart even the cleverest manipulations, reminding everyone to guard vulnerable loved ones against hidden snakes. What would you have done with that secret video? Comment below, and if stories like this move you, like and subscribe for more. I'm Eliza Quinn, and remember, here on Wedding Day Justice, veils off, justice on.